It's been a voyage of discovery for all of us, really.
Sometimes it did feel a bit like a pipe dream.
So every single step that we've gone through has just opened up a whole world of stuff.
We knew that there was probably an opportunity for some kind of venture, but what that would be, we didn't really know.
And we've gone from nothing in 6 weeks to actually being really embraced by the whole city.
In 2014, so 4 years ago, the initial idea of York Gin came about.
We've known each other for a long time. I've lived in York for 16 years. I moved to a part of York where there was a very good pub called the Swan, just as a customer, and I got to know the chap who ran the Swan very well, and that was Pete.
I used to own the Swan pub. My wife and I, Rachel, owned the Swan pub on the corner, which is the pub that now Paul owns. I sold it to Paul. Paul and I were quite good friends. And we knew a chap called John Farrow, who's no longer with us. He was sort of Paul and mine's best pal, sort of business partner, as it were. And Harry was a regular in the local pubs.
As quite a lot of projects that I've been involved in start out in a pub, it can be just a bit of chat and a bit of fun. But this really stuck, and it's something that we kept coming back to. So when an idea sticks and you mention it to a couple of people and they seem excited, and it kept that passion in us. So you know, over the few years that it took to actually bring the company together and form what we were doing, yeah, it always stuck with us. It just felt like the right thing to do.
At the same time, unbeknown to us, Emma was having a similar idea. So she did a search on the company name, and that's how she became aware that we were actually doing this.
I had this idea years ago that I really wanted a gin place, and it was like, I love York, I love gin, why isn't there a gin? It seemed crazy. Seen Edinburgh gin, seen Durham gin, loads of other places, and I was tried to register the name on Company's House and on the trademark. And as I did that, I discovered somebody else had also been trying to do the same thing, and it turned out to be my friend Paul, who runs a pub here called Swan. And I gave him a call and said, Paul, are you trying to do a gin? This is crazy. What are you up to? And so we got together.
But that was a brilliant thing, because getting Emma on board, Emma's very motivated with the idea, and she got things moving.
But I've known Paul since my children were little, and they're now 17. So yeah, I've known him for a good 15 years. And John, who died, unfortunately, was one of our founder members as well, and I've known him for years, and he's the landlord of the Slip. And he was also instrumental in getting everything going.
John was always one of the happiest people I ever knew, and some of the things that he used to say always stick with me. And one of the ones that I will always think of is he would say, it's just a bunch of mates having a laugh. And that's what we are. We're just a bunch of mates having a laugh.
Apart from him being sort of my best friend, as it were, sort of lifelong pal really for 20 odd years or so, he was he's a chartered accountant, so he was effectively going to be dealing with all the finance, a lot of the HMRC work, most of the sort of secretarial element of business running. So it was, yeah, it was a bit of a loss really, it was a bit of an impact.
We did initially think, well, yeah, what's going to happen? But it didn't take us long, because John was so enthusiastic. We know what he'd have said. He'd have said, you've got to do it.
Now that we are getting great feedback, we're not just focused on York. You know, we are a product to kind of promote York around the country and possibly even abroad. So yeah, I think, you know, our goals, you have to set your sights big. So you know, our goals eventually are me being able to go into a bar in America or Australia or somewhere in Europe and see York Gin on the shelf.
I think transformation is a really fitting word for what's been going on here, actually. There's all sorts of aspects of it. The fact that York didn't have this, you know, that's been a transformation locally, and suddenly York Gin is a completely recognised part of York life. So that's a lovely thing to have been involved with. The transformation, obviously, you know, in our personal life, with what we've been through in the past year, losing John was transformative, and us being so close to his family and seeing all that side of how things have changed for us over the last year. It's amazing how we've learned something about humankind, that you do adapt to these things, you know, even no matter how hard.